Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me thank for having associated Nabard in this, the techno world. Otherwise, Nabard is not known to be techno-savvy otherwise. What I'll do is, I'll briefly define a very short definition of what smart agriculture is all about. The second, I'll tell about what we are looking for the nation as a whole from the Nabard's perspective. And the third, I'll give some brief about what we have done so far. And before all this, let me introduce Nabard itself because many of you may not know Nabard. Nabard is basically, I'll not take more than 1 minute, right? Nabard is basically a financing agency. It was a refinancing agency now. Nowadays, we started building our own direct portfolio also. Shortly, we'll be crossing 3 lakh crore balance sheet size. The total balance sheet is divided into maybe around one-third. One-third goes for the infrastructure financing, one-third as a refinance, and one-third forms the direct financing and other assets. When we talk about the development, Nabard incidentally is a business organization as defined by Government of India. We pay as much income tax as any one of you paying, and no concessions whatsoever given to Nabard. If any of you feel that Nabard is a charitable organization, non-profit organization, forget it. It's a business organization, and we are not profit motive. We are sustainable organization. And part of the surpluses that we generate, and also some donors, international, national donors' money, we put into various funds and support various initiatives of the development, either by the state government or by the central government or of our own, private, public, whatever. So that's how my support fund for grant making is roughly around 5,000 crores in our balance sheet. We spend about 50% of it gets replenished every year, either from our own balance surplus or from somebody. This is a short profile of Nabard. We have a fairly independent board of management, even though 99.8% is owned by Government of India. RBI is supposed to be the co-owner of Nabard, but due to conflicts between the regulator and holding company, now they have stopped. They divested their entire capital to Government of India. Still 1 crore they have as a nominal, because unless the act is amended, that cannot be transferred. So literally it is controlled by Government of India. We report to Department of Financial Services, not to agriculture. Right. So this is Nabard. Coming to defining the smart agriculture in our context, Indian context, I take 3 dimensions. One is sustainable production. The second is income to the farmer. And the third is the nutrition security, food security. Any initiative is in agriculture, we look forward meeting these 3 criteria. Sustainable agriculture means, I will go a little detail so that we understand what smart agriculture is all about. It starts from below the ground level, that is the soil. Soil has nutrients on its own, supplied nutritions, and also its giveaway nutritions to the plants. At the end of it, it retains some nutrition. There needs to be an assessment of how much nutrition is in the soil in the beginning, how much nutrition we have to apply, and how much nutrition is taken away by the given crop, and the balance should be more than the opening balance of the balance sheet, nutrition balance sheet of the soil. And also, sustainability point of view, soil contains a lot of organisms which are useful. These organisms have also to be retained in addition to nutrition. If you can safeguard all these things, then we call this as a sustainable agriculture. The climate changes affects soil in different ways. The nutrition is washed away. The germs are killed, or the organisms in the soil that gets killed because of overheating. And the temperature changes also affect the crop intake of nutrients from the soil in a variable manner. All these have to be measured, monitored, and constantly augmented. So therefore, the adaptive agriculture, climatically adaptive agriculture is a big challenge. That's where all you guys are coming into picture. There are independent solutions available for soil nutrition management. There are measuring the moisture, organic content, etc., etc. It's done automatically also. There are solutions available in different parts of the world, different type of solutions. We had also come across some such solutions. The second, above soil, when you go to the plant selection has to be done which is suitable for the soil, which is sustainable by the nutrients that you are going to supply plus what is already existing in the soil. And also depending on the market conditions, whether it is going to generate income. This is also an important aspect of the sustainable agriculture or smart agriculture you call. The crop selection is important right from the seed. So the IT application goes from seed, generation of the seed, right up to the monitoring the entire plant growth and maturity and harvest. The plant has three types of strains. One is temperature, due to temperature. Second is water. Third is sunlight. These are all the basic things for the crop. So we need to measure all these things exactly what is required for an optimal growth of the plant and optimal yield. So this again is yet another area for IT solutions. There are IT solutions I have come across in the world where they put some chips in the plant. It gives what is the strain of the plant undergoing due to any of these. They measure the climate change or the heat that is generated or the humidity and also the nutrition strain in the plant. Nutrition strain, soil we have seen. Nutrition strain in the plant, it also is measuring. And this is supplemented through the irrigation. Irrigation, again, it's a water for the plant growth. Water also contains lots of nutrients. Now, we have to use least minimum water as possible to achieve growth. Recently, I have come across a technology which uses 10% of or less than 10% of the normal water requirements. Tremendous IT application. Amazing. They measure the water exactly as I was telling. It is supplied to the plant and it is a soilless cultivation. The water is supplied to the plant through the sprinkling or through the mist generation, and the water is collected back in a tray, and that is recycled. Before recycling, you have to rebalance that because some nutrients have been taken away by the plant. So you have to remeasure the water content regarding the nutrients in the water, rebalance it with additional nutrition, and then again supply this. Tremendous application is needed in terms of IT. And again, this smart agriculture can be in a controlled atmosphere or non-controlled atmosphere. We need to find variable solutions for both, because in our country, there are very high-tech farms, there are normal small farmers' farms. And the third area is a nutrition security. We need to ensure that the nutritional values are safeguarded in the plant and after the plant harvest till it is reaching the consumers. It should not be lost in between. The losses of nutrition at various levels need to be measured and safeguarded along its path to the consumers. Again, there's a lot of scope for innovations in this. Then coming to income generation, the farmers in our country especially, this is very critical. The farmer's income comes from the market. So there needs to be a proper information system about the demand supply, price levels, and what commodity is growing where and how much. So it contains two parts. One is the forecasting the price levels, and the second is delivering these price information to the farmers at the individual level who can take advantage of this. And before it reaches the consumer, at least the primary consumer and the farmer, there are several things that we need to handle: storage, logistics. Some are requiring controlled storage, some are requiring open storage. The improvement in the storage also requires a lot of IT applications, including pest control, etc. So the pest management is also in an organic way, as I told you, sustainable manner. You cannot just spray pesticide. There are some solutions which has come which triggers certain kind of the waves which inhibits the pest attack without damaging the pest as well as the crop. So this is required. Pest is required. I mean, some of the organisms are required. Some of the insects are required for pollination. I'll just give you an example. What happens if you don't take care of that? Nabard's intensive study about the farmer suicide in cotton crop. Many studies have been conducted. One study, Nabard study, stood out. Why? Because we went to the finest part, why it has happened, the crop damage. When the BT cotton is sown, just before flowering, there is a pest, specific pest attacks. The farmers spray chemicals, it kills all the insects in the field. Immediately followed by there is a flowering, and pollination has to take place. We need insects. Farmer has already killed all the insects. There is no pollination. And nobody noticed it. People say farmer died because of the debt stress, etc. Crop failed. They blame the seed producing companies, multinationals, all politicalization. But the real issue is this. And they do not have any other device to manage this pest except that one particular chemical. Once that is applied, all the thing will die. So how do we manage this? The year in which there is a less pest attack or no pest attack, there's a good crop. So this is another big challenge we need to face. So coming back to market access to market, storage, logistics, and the rest of the control, atmosphere, storages, etc., is very important. Now, we are going for a national integration of markets, national agriculture market. We envisage the commodities will be transported. Any perishable, non-perishable commodities have to be transported across markets to get better price. There is always a price arbitrage across the country. Normally, the logistic companies or the intermediaries take advantage of it. It's huge. Unless we tackle this, the farmer's income cannot be ensured. The last one, which is incidental to this, is the safeguarding the farmer himself. That is, how do we manage forecasting of any loss that may occur and how quickly we can reach the farmers. Now, normally when the crop damages, the normal situation is that state governments undertake crop cutting experiments. They go and cut the crop, assess the crop damage, etc., and then identify whose crop is damaged, how much on a sample basis. A village as a unit and some places block as a unit. By the time you assess the damage, it's already 6 months. Some farmers must have died already. So one of the big challenges is that how do we assess very quickly the damage at different stages and reach out to the farmers to provide some help from the government point of view. So the best aim is that within 1 week we should be able to identify the farmer, his crop is damaged at this level. Again, damage assessment is not after the crop season is over. Maybe at the seeding stage itself, immediately after the seeding, crops damaged because of the drought. So we need not wait for the crop season to be over. Immediately some assistance should be given, which is proportion to his investment. When the crop grows at different stages, the compensation levels will vary. So how do we relate the compensation levels with respect to the crop stages, and how do we assess the damage without going for a crop cutting experiment quickly? Nabard has done some experiment, I'll tell you later. This also requires tremendous amount of information, technology, applications, generating the data and analytics. So again, vast scope, sky at the limit. And the last but not the least is the procurement and the supply systems. How do we integrate farmers with all these things, right from the seed supply, nutrient, right up to the settlement to the farmers? We need to link all of them digitally so that every link of the value chain is able to take care of what is due to the payment to the respective the link holders. From the perspective of Nabard, we have come across multivariate solutions for each of these segments which I have explained to you. There are some irrigation control systems, today also we have seen. There are some pest control systems. There are certain market logistics tracking systems. There are certain forecasting systems. But what we are looking at is an integrated solution. And it is bits and pieces, it is implemented successfully somewhere. But we are unable to integrate it. Each one is in a different platform. Each one is at a different set of things. That is one thing. For that, we need to create a common database about the farmer, about the soil. Soil statistics or soil management has to be common. It should also help us to plan. For example, in this Karnataka state, what kind of soils are there given the atmospheric conditions, given the forecasts, etc. What kind of crop planning we should do, what advisory we have to give. So integrating the farmers in your network, that is a fundamental point from which Nabard want to proceed. Independent successes doesn't help us much. But we wanted to integrate a solution, integrating the farmer and also his activities. This is a big challenge. So this is the challenges and issues that before the IT community. And there is lots of scope for innovations, lot of scope for networking among your people also, because each one may be doing in certain areas. How do we get yourself integrated, networked, so that one networked entity can offer multivariate solutions. Now coming to experiments with Nabard. Nabard is also part of Digital India movement. You know, the SHGs, we are very familiar, especially South India, self-help groups, which is a small groups of people, poor people. So we have, in 92, we started the experimenting the SHGs. Now today it has gone. 10 crore population is there in that fold. Now the main issue is their accounting. The bank finance has started going down because they do not know what is happening in the group. And they do not know the financial status of the groups, etc. So we have gone for digitizing all these things. So every group is maintaining their accounts on cloud. And we have given them tablets to each of these groups. 2 districts we have covered. Excellent results. And secondly, these groups also is given individual information. If any deposits or anything is operated on his account, how much savings are happening, whether they are meeting regularly, etc. These are all captured in the tablet in a particular format. The viewing rights is given to the banks. So bankers need not visit any group. On their monitor, they can see any group, and then there can be an automatic sanction of loans if the group is functioning well. So this has enabled lots of facilitation for the bank finance. Otherwise, bank people, because they don't have time to go and see all these people. So we cannot blame them also. So we facilitate through this digital mode. So the second one was the watershed approach. We have done already in 3 states. We have experimented. We have put weather stations in watersheds. Okay, and then we connected to IMD and the forecasting mechanism. Because of this, what happened? We are able to give advisory to the farmers. They are able to safeguard from this. The insurance companies are working on this weather data. That's a business opportunity for them also. And then we have done successfully for 3 states. Now we are going to expand it for 1.5 million hectares further. We are already in the process. So likewise, we have lots of issues. So from the Nabard perspective, not only just on agriculture, but farmer are also important. And then we have to find an integrated solution. I hope your discussion here and your interactions beyond this seminar would help find a good solution for Indian context. Thank you very much for having me.